The night cracked open in a way that no one on that quiet street would ever forget. Just after midnight, when the world was holding its breath, and even the wind seemed afraid to make a sound, a soft, trembling knock broke through the darkness. It was not loud or demanding. It was the kind of knock that carried fear inside it, the kind that came from someone who had already cried too much and had no strength left. On the other side of that door stood a little girl, barefoot, clutching the sleeve of her oversized sweater, her eyes filled with worry far beyond her years. What began with that fragile knock would quietly unravel pain, kindness, and a miracle that no one saw coming. If you believe that kindness still exists in this world, that second chances can change lives, and that small moments can create big miracles, please take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories like this, and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. Your support helps these stories reach hearts that need them most. The house next door belonged to Daniel Carter, a man the neighborhood barely knew, but everyone talked about. He was the CEO of a global construction and security company, a self-made millionaire who had chosen this quiet street not for status, but for silence. He had moved in after a long divorce, carrying the weight of a life that looked successful from the outside but felt painfully empty on the inside. Daniel spent most of his nights awake, working or staring out of his window, haunted by memories of a daughter he rarely saw anymore, and a family he did not know how to fix. That night, he was sitting alone in his dimly lit living room when the knock came, cutting through his thoughts like a blade. Across the narrow strip of lawn between the houses lived Emily Parker and her 6-year-old daughter Lily. Emily was a single mother who worked double shifts at a local diner, barely holding her life together with tired hands and silent prayers. Her husband had left years ago, leaving behind unpaid bills, a broken front door lock, and a fear that never quite left her chest. That night, the old lock finally gave up. A loud crack echoed through the small house as the door shifted loose in its frame. Emily tried to stay calm, but panic rose fast when she realized the door would not close properly anymore. Her phone battery was dead, her savings were gone, and the darkness outside felt heavier than ever. Lily saw the fear in her mother's eyes before Emily even spoke. The child did not fully understand danger, but she understood fear, and that was enough. While Emily tried to push furniture against the door with shaking hands, Lily remembered the quiet man next door, the one who waved politely but never smiled. She remembered how his house always looked safe, how the lights stayed on late into the night. Without fully realizing the bravery it took, Lily slipped on her sweater, opened the door just enough, and stepped into the night. Daniel opened his door expecting nothing, maybe a stray cat or the wind playing tricks. Instead, he saw Lily standing there, her face pale, her small hands clenched tightly together. In that moment, something inside him broke open. He had spent years building skyscrapers, designing security systems, and controlling boardrooms, yet nothing had prepared him for the sight of a frightened child standing alone at midnight. He did not ask questions. He did not hesitate. He grabbed his coat, his toolbox from the car, and followed her without a word. The Parker house was cold and dim, lit only by a single lamp flickering in the corner. Emily froze when she saw Daniel step inside, her heart racing with embarrassment and fear. She wanted to apologize for bothering him, for looking weak, for letting her life fall apart so visibly. But Daniel did not see weakness. He saw a woman trying to protect her child with nothing left to give. He moved straight to the door, examined the broken lock, and got to work with calm precision. His hands moved confidently, but his eyes kept drifting toward Lily, who watched him like he was some kind of superhero. As he worked, Daniel noticed things others might overlook. The empty fridge, the stack of overdue bills, the way Emily flinched at every small sound. He realized this was not just a broken door. This was a life cracked open by hardship and held together by sheer will. Within an hour, the door was stronger than it had ever been. He reinforced the frame, replaced the lock, and tested it multiple times until it felt solid, safe, unbreakable. But he did not leave after that. Something kept him there. Maybe it was the way Lily finally smiled, or the way Emily's shoulders relaxed for the first time that night. Daniel sat at the small kitchen table while Emily made tea from the last 2 bags she owned. They talked, not with words spoken aloud, but with shared silence and understanding. In that quiet space, Daniel felt something he had not felt in years. Purpose. Over the following weeks, Daniel found himself drawn back to the Parker house. He offered to fix small things, a loose window, a leaking pipe, a broken step. Emily tried to refuse, pride fighting gratitude, but Daniel never made her feel like a burden. Lily started waiting by the window in the afternoons, her laughter slowly filling the space that fear once occupied. Daniel began bringing groceries, then helping Emily find a better job through contacts he had never thought to use for something so personal. As winter faded into spring, something remarkable happened. Daniel changed too. The lonely man who once hid behind success found himself laughing again, eating dinner at a small kitchen table, listening to Lily talk about school and dreams. He reconnected with his own daughter, inspired by the second chance unfolding right in front of him. Emily, once consumed by survival, began to hope again. She enrolled in night classes, started saving, and slowly rebuilt her confidence. The neighborhood noticed the change before anyone else did. The Parker house no longer looked dark or fragile. It looked alive. And the CO next door was no longer just a quiet stranger. He was family. Years later, that midnight knock would still echo in Daniel's memory as the moment that saved him just as much as it saved them. A broken door had led to repaired lives, proving that sometimes the smallest act of kindness can rewrite destinies. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that compassion can appear in the darkest moments, please take a moment now to like this video, share it with someone who believes in humanity, and support the channel by subscribing. Your engagement helps stories like this reach people who may be standing on the edge of fear right now. And before this story ends, we have one special request. Please comment below with a heart emoji if you believe that kindness can change the world, and tell us if you have ever experienced a moment when a stranger became a blessing. Your words might be the hope someone else needs today, because sometimes all it takes to change everything is one small knock in the middle of the night.